first week of rifle season here in Pennsylvania. I believe it's the first Monday evening. I'm just getting out and I got about maybe, hour and a half to hunt. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna put some scents out where there's this oak. It's almost like a saddle. And it sort of drops down and it borders two really thick chunks of the forest. I have a bunch of hemlocks that run for about a half a mile by half a mile square. Then there's a few clear cuts. But where the saddle is at, Mikey and I were in here the first day of rifle season. We seen a pile of deer. I missed a dinky 7-point. But we ended up getting 2 doe. And we saw a lot of deer. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back there, put some scents out, and I'm just gonna be looking for a buck. I don't want to shoot a doe because I'm spending some time next few days hunting. So we're supposed to get a lot of weather. I want to say we're supposed to get some weather here early tomorrow morning through tomorrow, like almost 2 to 5 inches in some spots. So we're going to do some still hunting, some sitting, but yeah, hopefully I can get a buck, and after that, they'll start filling doe tags. There's a lot of acorns in through here. I mean, this whole access road right here is just absolutely polluted with acorns. Look at that. A little flat here. This whole flat here was absolutely polluted with acorns this year. So, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see spots where the deer have been feeding throughout the day. I saw one doe driving up here, and she had her face in the leaves just looking for acorns. So, hopefully we can get up here without spooking anything. I got my grunt call too. Don't leave home without it, ever. Unless I'm in a hurry and I forget. But so far, I'm batting 1,000. Oh, there's no scrape right here. Just a little scrape, nothing big. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some grunting tonight. There's still some rutting activity going on. Just because the myth of the first week of November and scrape week doesn't mean there's still not rutting. I rut all the way up through January looking for does. And now some of the does have been picked clean. They've been bred, and these bucks are out there looking for other ones. So I want to sneak in through this thick stuff, and hopefully I might even catch a buck on the way through. So, alright, if I don't see you again, I'm definitely going to be seeing you at the stand. That's a good rut right here. Really good rut. Right along this trail, you can see that trail how it cuts right up through here. We're going to be taking that trail up to where I'm going to be sitting tonight, and more than likely sitting there tomorrow. I just got to my spot. And as far as I know, I did not bump any deer. I didn't hear any deer run, snort, nothing. And now that I'm sitting here, I don't know if tricks on me or what, but I hear a lot of rustling. I mean, it's crunchy. I'm sure we can hear deer from at least 200 yards away. But right now it's 4:21. Like I said, I got a good 45 minutes anyways. Probably less than that because of the legal shooting light. But what there is it's fairly thick. I can't say fairly, it's thick. And you just have to pick your shooting lanes. Like to my right, I can get some good shooting in, but down here in front of me, maybe 80 yards and it thickens up. But behind me here, around this little curve back here, there's a clear cut down there. And hopefully these deer come through one clear cut over to these hemlocks. Now the deer have been feeding over on this hillside that I just came through. A lot of rubs, a lot of scrapes. So hopefully we can catch them crossing back and forth. Yeah, I hear a lot of rustling. I'm not gonna be picky. I mean, I see a legal buck, I'll shoot it. I'm just out to donate. I hear something, I don't know what it is. Yep, a couple does right back there. I knew I heard something. Oh well. I'll hurry up and grunt. Maybe deer might think that's a buck that they're snorting at. They're doing what I want them to do. Cut across that hill, but alright, time to put the camera. Enough talking. I'm sure if I wasn't talking, I would have spooked those deer. Two big does. But you never know what was around behind them. Whatever. doe came up. It wasn't 10 minutes after those other ones spooked. She saw something. She saw me, but she didn't know what I was. The wind is blowing in my face, and that deer was off to my right. But that hill's tricky. I can barely hear him, and all of a sudden, pop, they're there. She was stomping, and once in a while she would look back. So maybe there's a buck behind her, a ways. Because sometimes bucks don't trail the does like right up to their tail. They stay back sometimes 100 yards, 200 yards. And then they just slow poke their way through, ever so cautious. So, you never know, we might see a buck yet tonight. That's pretty good. That's 3 deer in 20 minutes. I wish there was somebody here with a doe tag. I have a doe tag, but I just wish I had somebody here that would shoot a doe. Oh, there's another deer right there. Two. Let's get behind the tree. I'll check with my binoculars. scampering around, like trying to get away from them. I saw something on the other side of one of these big oaks. And I'm guessing it walked away from me because I heard some steps far to my right. That was a great evening for only about an hour hunt. Holy cow. I know my scent preparation was good because 6 of those deer were within 50 yards, directly downwind. I'm gonna stay there for a couple more minutes and just to listen. But yeah, that was a good evening. See you guys in the morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. We're up here in public on some state ground, and it is definitely a different scene from last night when I was here. I'm sitting in the same spot, and it's probably about almost 8:30. I stayed at camp for a while, thinking nothing's going to be moving, and I cut 0 tracks to drive here, and I did not cut any tracks walking in here. I did hear 2 different people shoot, but deer moving. So they said this weather's probably going to stop around noon or so. But I got a buck and a doe tag, and I don't want to use my doe tag yet, especially with all this snow. I freshened up 2 scrapes that I had cameras over in archery season. We had some pretty good bucks, and last night. Anyway, just to give you a quick rundown where I'm at. Over here, there's the hill bends. It wraps. And there's a heck of a deer trail that cuts down here. Now I have a scrape over here. Well, the deer have a scrape over here and over there. And one really good signpost for rubbing. Back in here, behind me about 300-400 yards, there's a lot of hemlock back in there. And when I was here the first day, all those deer were coming through them hemlock and picking up all these acorns and through here and milling back here. So we're in that really good transition spot right in between bedding and feeding. But with all this snow last night, I don't know if those deer stayed in the hemlocks or where they went. But I really don't expect to see anything until later on in the afternoon when this starts to slow down, or even towards the evening. So I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this beautiful, there was a shot. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this beautiful snowfall. It's so quiet. I'm way back in. So I don't expect to see anybody at all today. It's Tuesday, so I think. Maybe it might be Monday. No, it's Tuesday. I love vacation. I got my camera on a tree arm here. Just ratchet strapped in there. It's going to be covered by a hoodie just to keep my camera dry. So that's about a little bit after 10 o'clock. As you can tell, the snow finally stopped. And I've heard a couple shots about a half hour, 45 minutes before the snow stopped falling. But that would be over. There's like a bunch of laurel over in this direction up there. say about 400 yards, and that's where the shots were coming from. So whether those deer got up and shook the snow off and they wanted to go get something to eat, because I am more than positive they were not feeding last night. So hopefully the action picks up and I'll be able to shoot my buck. I did see a gray squirrel though. That's a good thing. One thing I did do, I mean, just for a little something for you people out there, if your feet get cold, like my feet get cold regardless of the boots I wear. That's probably because of getting frostbite when I was little. Playing footballs with my buddies out in the snow and just socks and baseball cleats. But something that I found out that worked for me, and it could be old news for a lot of people, is I always bring either a blanket or an extra hoodie of some sort, and I lay it on the ground after I kick the snow off or I kick the leaves off, and I'll just lay it on the ground and just wrap my feet in them. What that does, it gives you just a little bit of insulation between the bottom of your feet and the ground, because that ground will suck so much heat from you. But it's not going to make your feet 100% warm, but it will protect it from a lot of the cold. As you can see here, this is where my feet have been, and that's how much the snow's melted because of all the heat leaving my feet. So what I just do is just take a hoodie and wrap it up. Excuse me. Since hearing those shots a little bit ago, I'm gonna try to give some grunts. I'm not gonna get too aggressive with my grunting, because even though they're still rutting and they're still bumping and still checking, I'm just gonna give a couple grunts like a hey, what's going on grunt, or whatever, just communication anyways. I just might give one irritating grunt out there. So see if it works. It's worked in the past, but see if it works today. And you don't want to grunt very loud, especially when there's snow, because that sound will travel for a long, long ways. You want it to sound realistic, but you don't want to be yelling at them. See that? It just echoes, so I mean, I'm barely blowing on it. That's pretty much it. But I got a few 8 points here, and I did get a picture of a buck here that I got almost 2 miles from here in I would call it the scrape week. And it's a big 10 point. And on the left side, he's got a short, I'll say a short fourth. Yeah, short 4. It'd be nice to get a big one, but I don't care. So, all right. It's the pay attention instead of talking to this thing, for crying out loud. Well, back at it. I ended up going back to camp and get warmed up. I did not see a thing. Very few shots. I mean, I think the closest shot might have been 300-400 yards, but that's tough to guesstimate because of all this snow hanging on these trees. But definitely reduced visibility. But I did not cross a set of deer tracks at all once again. So I'm back in the same place that I was this morning. The same place I was last night where all those deer came through. I'm really debating on filling my tag up in this area here. I mean, if I got a doe that comes in, good shot. And she might maybe get past me to make sure there's not a buck behind her. I might shoot her, but I'd hate to. So like I said, it's pretty close to 4 o'clock. So I'm going to button this up and get to looking. Definitely put my gun on this side of the tree. Probably could hang it there, huh? On the actual camera. That'll work. That way I won't have to bend over and get it. See? Just hang it right there. That way if I film I'm in tight quarters. If I'm in tight quarters I can just grab it, lift it off, and shoot. So wind's definitely good. Wind's definitely good. There is no way I should have missed her. No way. Absolutely no way. Holy crap. No idea. I mean, I watched her go for 200 some yards down there with her tail up. Holy cow. Yeah, there's no way I missed her. Let's go down there and check just in case, but yeah, my first shot, she only ran like 15 yards and stopped. I thought I might have hit her, and she got down there and I cracked her. Took a shot maybe 120 yards out. Unless I hit a branch, but I don't know. I run down to check for run out of light. What the heck, man? Crap. Yeah, there's no way I should have missed her. Well, if I did, there's a way. There's my first shot right through here. No hair, nothing. And she ran this way. No blood, no blood. Zero blood. Yeah, I missed her clean. So there she was, the second shot. Oh, there are some branches up through here. That is thicker than I thought it was. I'll fall a little bit, but not good. Oh. Oh boy. I thought that was a slam dunk. Either my gun is off or I hit some branches. Glad I got a different gun with me. Wow. Not having a good year. Yeah, it's super thick in through here. I didn't see it when I obviously didn't see it when I shot. Wow. Oh boy. Well, it happens. I'll give it a shot tomorrow.